Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tech Bytes, tips and resources for educators. And on behalf of MASSP, my name is Ryan Casey, and today I want to show you a really cool website called EdPuzzle. And basically what this website does is it allows you to take YouTube videos and add different stop points along the way so you can check for understanding via a multiple choice question, open-ended question, or if you simply want to just stop or pause the video to add some sort of little note on the screen. So it's a really cool website because we know that YouTube videos are very powerful to help demonstrate a point across to students, especially if you've been working in a virtual or hybrid environment. But there's even a really cool way that I'll show you in just a few minutes how you can use this resource when you're face-to-face, live with students right in your classroom as well. So let's go ahead and get started and check it out. Okay, so I'm already at the EdPuzzle website, which is simply edpuzzle.com. And you'll set up your free account. I believe I set mine up using the connect with Google option. And I do want to point out this is what we consider a freemium resource, meaning that a basic plan is free. You get up to about 20 of these videos you can make before you would need to consider getting a paid account. And what's really cool about EdPuzzle that I like is when you go to set up your account, you're actually going to connect yourself to a school or a building. So if there are other teachers in your building using EdPuzzle, you guys can actually share videos and content with you. So if you have a teacher down the hall teaching the similar class, it's that old theory of don't reinvent the wheel, right? So if you made a lesson that he or she's going to have to cover in a couple days, share it with them. They can share one back with you, and that helps out. So you'll notice that at my dashboard area right now that I have content, which is what I'm on right now. This is the area that I'm going to in just a second browse for a video to make with some questions. I have a grade book because this will allow you to score student answers who watch the video. And I can go look at all the different classes I have. Off to the left, we will take a look at the different content that is available. So if you want to look up different things related to certain curriculum, I have this connected to the Croswell-Lexington Middle School. That's where my oldest daughter goes. So I can see all of the videos that have been created in that building. So again, that's a powerful way for you to, if others are starting to use this in your building, to share content. Or I can look at my own personal content that I've already created. If I want to go back and find a video I've made to reshare it, adjust the due date, tweak a question, things like that. And you'll notice that there's a lot of different channels feed into EdPuzzle, from YouTube, Khan Academy, there's TED Talks, National Geographic, a lot of good stuff. So if you just want to get started by searching for a video, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look up some web design. I used to be a web design teacher. So maybe I'm teaching web design class and I want to see what they have for videos here. By default, it's going to look in the EdPuzzle community. So these are EdPuzzles that have already been set up with questions. You'll notice that there's a little marker underneath each one of these. This tells you how many little stopping points there are for questions or notes. So it's really cool. I'll talk about this in a second. I can take one of these videos and use it as is, or I can say, something, I don't like that question, and delete it, or add questions to it. So again, don't reinvent the wheel if you don't have to. Or I can look right in YouTube. So again, looking for web design information in YouTube. So I'm going to look up, maybe I want to have them watch a video about bad web design versus good web design. So I would select this video. Actually, I'm going to click on it. Excuse me. And now we're going to talk about what are some next steps we can do with this video once we have one selected. So now I have my video selected. Let's take a look at what our options are. So first and foremost, I can just obviously preview this video. I'm going to want to watch this video to make sure it's appropriate and make sure the content matches up what I was hoping to explain to my class or my students. So right off the bat, you can see other people have used this video as well for making other versions. So again, if you want to use somebody else's version of this, you can make a copy of it, and then you could manipulate the question. So it's really easy in that regard. If this is good and I just want to assign a regular old video, you'll notice that I have an assign button here. We're going to manipulate this, so we're going to assign it in a couple minutes. I could make a copy of it. Again, if I was selecting somebody's other version that had questions and stuff in it, I would want to make a copy so I could tweak it. Or I can edit this video, and that's what we're going to focus on right now. So I'm going to click Edit. and we have a couple of different options here up at the top. So number one is I can cut a video. So maybe there are certain sections of this video that aren't relevant, and sometimes maybe the video is just a little too long, and once we get to a certain minute marker, I want to cut that out. So all I would do is adjust.
And this is what
I'm gonna pause that. I can just adjust this marker, and I can see the scrubber how it applies on the timeline. So maybe if I want to leave it at the beginning, but I want to cut it off at a certain mark, I can do that. Voiceover. Depending on what video you selected, in this case you'll notice that I got an error saying because I was using a certain YouTube video, voiceover is not allowed. But if you're pulling things from National Geographic or Khan, there is a way that if you want to help explain a section, you can add a voiceover to this video. I'll show you an easy workaround for this because of the YouTube restriction in this specific case. And the last one, and this is probably the most powerful part, is the question. So you'll see that I can add 3 different items to this quiz, or excuse me, to this video. I can add multiple choice, open-ended, or simply a note. And it is going to add this item based on where you are at in the video. So if you want to start something at the very beginning, I wouldn't even hit play. I'd make sure I'm at the beginning of the video, and I would add some sort of pre-formative quiz. Like, what do you think, provide some examples of A, B, or C, or different questions like that. As I play the video and let it go through, or maybe skip to a certain part in the video, so I'm at the 152 mark, wherever I am paused is where one of these notes will be added. So if I want to add multiple choice, I'm going to go through, I would type my question, and then I would type in the answer. And you can see I can add in as many answers as I want. And then what I have to do is I just have to make sure I mark one of these, or certain ones, or maybe all of them, whether it's correct or incorrect with the green check mark versus the X. Notice you do have a little formatting bar here. You can add links to things. You can add images, make certain keywords stand out. I hit save. And now you can see I have a multiple choice question added to this point in the video. If I move ahead,
as you can see,
I'm now able to add another question. So let's do the open-ended question now. So again, this is open-ended. So, and as it says down here, this won't be able to be easily scored because the computer EdPuzzle doesn't know if the answer is correct or not. So you would have to manually go through and read the response and then give it a certain score. Right? Again, I can use the image icon. I can use some formatting toolbars here to spruce that question up if needed. I will hit save. So it's added.
Also here, but the problem is.
And the last thing that we're going to add is going to be a note. So this is a written comment that you would add if you just want to point something out at this point in the video, or I mentioned that we have that voiceover workaround. There's a little microphone option here where you can actually add an audio note. So if you do run into that YouTube restriction, add a note, an audio note, and it'll pause the video so they can read or listen to the note, the item that you want to point out on that point in the video. And I will hit save. So now I've added in, I can go back to any one of these, I can edit, I can delete, I can add more. When I am done, you can see all the different items listed here. I'm going to hit finish, and it's going to take me back to this video screen. So now you'll notice that we have a few more options. Before we could only assign, copy, or edit. Now I have some additional items here, like being able to share a preview, duplicate. I can delete this. Notice that by default it's going to be public, meaning that other people searching EdPuzzle can look for my video. Again, if you're borrowing from others, pay it forward, share it out. I can go back and edit this at any time. So we are going to actually assign it. We say, something, this is pretty good. I'm ready to send it to the kiddos to have them do this. So I'm going to hit assign. Now I have already created a class called Tech Bytes. So I would simply check that box. I would assign it all. Or if I had kids already in my course, I could assign it manually to individual kids. Right now, if you have not made any classes, you could simply click the Add New Class button, and you would give it a name, description, grade level. There is a way to connect it to Google Classroom, so consider that option as well. But once you have it assigned to a class, yep, I'm assigning it to Tech Bytes. It's going to be available starting today. If there is no due date, you don't use one. If there is a due date, you put that on there and hit save. I strongly recommend turning on this option where it says prevent skipping. And then another thing you might want to consider turning on is to make it more accessible for students, is to turn on closed captioning. So once I have this set, I have my due date, my options, I simply hit the blue assign button. And it is now available. I have not seen any students submit a response yet. That is what would happen in this area. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Couple of items down in the bottom right corner here now is I can share the assignment. So I can basically take this link, copy it, I can add it to my Google Classroom, I can put it on the board, I can embed it into a website or a Google site, and then students would simply use that link to fill it out. And they do need to be connected to EdPuzzle. Again, they can connect their account. You're just using their school Gmail account, which makes it really easy. One other item I want to point out before I show you what it looks like for some scores and stuff is this Go Live option. So I mentioned that you can do this face-to-face. Although it makes a lot of sense to use this in a virtual or hybrid model, you can use this Go Live option, which will basically allow you, if you read the details here, you can pull this video up in your class. Students would click on the link, and basically it would pause them all together at the same time, and they would all fill out their individual response. And then before you hit play and resume the video. So it's kind of a nice way to still have them have some sort of accountability for watching a video and doing some pause points where they really do have to respond versus you just pausing the video and asking a couple kids who have their hands up. So that's a cool option as well as that Go Live feature. So I went ahead and pretended I was a student and I started working on this video. And you can see that as student data pours in, you can actually see how much of it they've watched. So if somebody does really poorly and they say, I watched the whole video, I don't understand. Well, no, you only actually watched about 10%. You were skipping around in case maybe you said prevent skipping, which is why I would say leave it on, make them watch the whole thing. You can see if they got it turned in. I can go in here and reset the progress. I can unassign if I don't need that student to complete it. I can go in and look at the questions and see how many students have gotten certain questions right or incorrect. So not a ton of data analytics here, but enough to hold kids accountable and to make sure that they've done the work. So pretty cool website. Again, that's edpuzzle.com. I really suggest you check it out, and I think you can use it in any learning environment, face-to-face, hybrid, or virtual. Thank you for watching this video. As always, you can find Tech Bytes by heading over to MASSP.com or by going to the MASSP YouTube page at youtube.com/MASSP. I would really appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to our channel. And this way you can be notified the next time a new video comes out. As always, thank you so much for all you do. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.